Good morning. I am thrilled that we are back together at COD in person. The positive energy throughout the campus is infectious. Our students are definitely excited to be here. Everyone from classified to managers to administrators and faculty have been amazing in welcoming new and returning students to COD. I also commend you for your resilience and ability to work through the many challenging and unprecedented situations brought on by the pandemic, both personally and professionally. I know that it has not been easy, but we are better because of one another. Special thanks to those who dedicated their time in the enrollment lab and greeted students at welcome tables. Kudos also go to Student and Academic Affairs, Marketing and Communications, Financial Affairs, Facilities, IT, HR, Risk Management, Business Services, the Police Department, WDCB, Research and Planning, Institutional Advancement, the Office of the General Counsel, faculty, and the assistance provided through my own Office of the President. I am truly grateful. I am equally thrilled with the level of engagement during New Student Orientation, better known as NSO. We began with an outstanding experience and hundreds of students were ready to learn and participate. I had the opportunity to meet with many students at NSO and the welcome tables. It was exhilarating to hear directly from these future leaders. I have to tell you that they were very enthusiastic about being here. Hats off to the entire Student Life team, led by Assistant Provost Diana Del Rosario, Dean of Student Affairs Natanya Montez, Manager Chuck Steele, Coordinators Shannon Hernandez, Christina Henderson, and Stephanie Quirk, and many others on a job well done. Let's take a look. We are on the campus of College of DuPage for New Student Orientation 2022. Everyone is here having a great time and learning a lot about all the things that College of DuPage has to offer. And we look forward to having our students back on campus. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about several topics that I know are of great interest. First, I will briefly discuss the new remote work policy and administrative procedure. As you know, the former Vice President of Human Resources was working on a new policy and administrative procedure, but it paused when she left in June. Since then, I appointed Ellen Roberts to jump in and oversee HR until a new VP is hired. Ellen Roberts has been working overtime in this capacity, and I want to personally thank her for all that she has done. Here are a few highlights of the proposed administrative procedure as it now stands. College of DuPage recognizes that a remote work arrangement may be mutually beneficial to the college and its employees. This applies to circumstances where the college's business needs and the employee's work provide for a remote work arrangement that is in the best interest of the college. However, remote work is not an entitlement. It is granted at the discretion of the college, subject to the college's needs and expectations regarding employee performance. Remote work may be approved on a case-by-case basis, considering the mission and business needs of the college and the department. It is also important to note that remote work may not be suitable for every position. In other words, it is not a one-size-fits-all model, and not everyone is eligible. Once a supervisor grants the opportunity to work remotely, those that are eligible must sign an approved form. Finally, performance expectations will not change due to a remote work arrangement. In short, an employee working remotely will be required to meet the same expectations as an employee working on campus. Another area of interest is what is now termed the Great Resignation. This phenomenon has plagued organizations across the country in which employees are leaving their jobs at a much higher rate than prior to the start of the pandemic. The Great Resignation has also impacted our institution. The current applicant pools are dramatically different from what they were in past years. For example, faculty applicant pools are now significantly lower. Currently, we have an average of 20 to 30 in a pool. Pre-pandemic applicants were much higher for faculty positions, with averages in the 50 to 100 range. Classified roles had minimums of 30 to 50, depending upon skill levels. The good news is that COD is now starting to see slight increases in applicant pools, and I hope this trend will continue. Also, our number of vacancies has dropped significantly. Now let's turn our attention to the recent work conducted through the college's Office of Research and Analytics. During this past summer, 15 focus groups were conducted with a total of 65 individuals to explore the impact of administrative policies, processes, and procedures on the staff's ability to achieve their work goals. Overall, the findings show that staff are passionate about supporting students and finding ways to collaborate across the institution. However, during the focus groups, 5 themes emerged: purchasing, budgets and reimbursements, human resources, technology, and communications. With respect to these themes, overall the staff felt that they had to spend an excessive amount of time on administrative processes, which oftentimes prevented them or took time away from key job responsibilities such as recruiting, planning, teaching, and supporting students. The entire focus group report can be found on the Research and Planning team site on the employee portal. In addition, given the findings of the most recent PACE survey and related focus group, I commissioned the formation of the task force on procedural and systems improvements. The charge of the task force is to analyze the PACE and focus group findings and then provide a prioritized list of recommendations on how we can improve institutional procedures and systems to make it easier for all members of the college community to get their work done and serve students better. I appointed Professor Bob Clark to chair the group. The task force will be comprised of more than 20 faculty, staff, and administrators. The work of this task force is incredibly important to the future of our college, and I look forward to receiving its recommendations. At College of DuPage, mental health matters. You are all feeling the weight of the last 2 years. I feel it too. Whether you have experienced it among family and friends or yourself, it is quite clear that employee wellness must be addressed. According to recent data highlighted via the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a vital issue that has arisen during the past 2 years is mental health. Studies show that nearly 81% of workers face some form of burnout or mental health issue, and 68% of employees say their daily work has been interrupted by these challenges. I too recognize the impact of mental health at COD, and I am proud of how we are working to address this serious issue. During Suicide Prevention Month and World Mental Health Day, various departments provided safe spaces to create important dialogues around mental health and wellness. More events are forthcoming. In closing, if you or someone you know needs additional resources to address a mental health issue, please reach out to Human Resources to connect with the college's Employee Assistance Program. We are all in this together. Finally, as we look ahead, I am pleased with the progress made to date on our strategic long-range plan and the Higher Learning Commission's recent visit. As many of you know, I am extremely proud that the HLC's Institutional Actions Council accepted the peer reviewers' recommendations that COD met all accreditation criteria and federal compliance standards. All issues, including monitoring for student learner outcome assessment and co-curricular assessment, have been cleared. Therefore, the IAC is continuing the college's accreditation with no monitoring, interim reports, or sanctions. This is the first time since 2014 that the college has not been under any monitoring or sanctions by the HLC. Thank you to the many staff and faculty for their involvement in working to ensure that we had a fruitful visit with the HLC. We could not have done this without each and every one of you. Additionally, as we continue to underscore our commitment to student success, we recently shared our new Student Success Completion Plan with the Board of Trustees. Through the examination of data, research, and best practices, a completion committee will recommend to Provost Mark Curtis Chavez programs, initiatives, and interventions to improve student completion. The committee will also identify big bets that the college can adopt in order to improve student success. You will hear more about this plan in the coming months. In talking about working together, the college is continuing to engage our diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant, Kaleidoscope Group, in its 2-year contract with COD. The Kaleidoscope Group recently met with Cabinet, the Equity and Access Team, and the Shared Governance Council to obtain their insights about the state of the college's DEI work. Interim DEI Director Jill Salas has been meeting with the Kaleidoscope Group along with other employees to review the scope of the consultant's work. Please consider inviting Jill to your next department or committee meeting to discuss the work and to solicit ideas and input on how to make Kaleidoscope's work successful at College of DuPage. As you may know, we have a new ad campaign for students. We see you at COD, but we also see you, the employee, your hard work, your accomplishments, your drive, and your struggles. That's why I want all employees to take the survey administered by Kaleidoscope Group that asks for your experiences working at COD. The survey will launch October 31st and takes only 7 minutes to complete. Thank you for all that you do.